And I just wish that's like the one thing that's still like getting like misinterpreted, and that's what messes up the bridges between a lot of new artists and the older artists. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they feel that need that they have to. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, do you feel like that? Because I mean, so I'm sure you guys know. So Kirk produced Plain Jane, and like that's a song that, and we'll talk about that too, because that goes back to the ASAP thing, which is like a really dope story. But like, do you feel that pressure now? Like even where you are now, because a lot of your other stuff is like boom bap or like influenced by other stuff, but then you can also make like really trappy like stuff that is more of the moment, and you obviously prefer what you prefer, but one thing we were talking about yesterday too is like, as a producer, I mean, talk about like you have your own taste, but also when you're working with someone in the studio, like enhancing that person. And
so like even with being a producer, so like growing up with like producing for Joey and stuff like that, there were certain things that I was realizing in myself as an artist that I wanted to do, but I was trying to project it onto another artist instead of doing it myself. So I was sitting there like, I'm melodic as shit. I love Kid Cudi. I love singing shit. I love Hawthorne Heights. I love like stuff like that. Not saying Joey doesn't like that stuff, but Joey's not too fond of like melodic, like that's not his forte. He loves it though, but it's not like his forte, like at the time. So I'm sitting there, I'm singing like on like we talking about the early days. So we had this series of projects called the sex tapes, the PE sex tapes or whatever. It's funny as hell. That was funny as shit. So we was making them joints and I'm singing and shit, and then it's like now we're working on Joey's solo music, and it's just like certain beats that I'm playing for him, like, nah, bro, this is, if you sing it like this and da-da-da. And it's like, I'm telling him, like, to hit, like, this certain note. And this is before we even knew what notes were. But we were just like, I'm hitting this certain key. I'm like, this is the frequency. And it's just like, I don't get it. Or he would do it and it just sounds horrible. And I'm just like, and then it's like, the artist gets fatigued because it's like you're telling them to try too much. And then then the creativity's gone and it's out the window. So that's what I started realizing, that sometimes artists aren't meant to do the things that you're trying to project in your head. You're just supposed to enhance what they're already doing. Because at the end of the day, the real producers are the ones that make the world fuck with the artist just because of how the artist was produced, in terms of like, he didn't change, but the sonic, how his records is mixed has changed. Even just certain ways of how his delivery has changed, but the person that's making the music never changes. You could change by somebody telling you so many opinions about your music. Next thing you know, then your music is just some pop shit. And not saying pop shit is bad, but maybe that's not what you wanted to do. But that was the intention of your mans, but that's not you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I always try to tell producers, like, if you're trying to produce for somebody, try to get to know them first before you even try to produce for them. Like, at the end of the day, when I made Plain Jane for Ferg, we got in the studio and we chilled mad times. Like, I didn't do shit. Like, not every time, like, you can't be thirsty with producing neither. Like, you can't just be sitting there like, oh, you're not any studio anywhere, da-da-da. That's usually not how it goes. Not for real. Like, usually the one that's like, yo, nah, I'd rather just chill with you, get to understand where you at mentally, and then we can make some heat. Those usually the ones that go farther, because it's like you're in the mind of the artist, so then it's like you kind of know what kind of records to pitch them, or like how far they want to go out their comfort zone. Because that too, you gotta push people out their comfort zone, enhance their sound, of course, keep them the same, but still push them just a little bit. But not to the point where it's like they feel like they don't have no like resemblance of themselves anymore. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm listening to anymore, you know? Like, but pushing the envelope, it goes in steps. That's why I always tell people, it's like, you can't just push the envelope in one fucking day and it's just like, yeah, like, it doesn't work that way. Like, even with like, if some of the people are like in here that's watching like the stuff that I'm doing right now and stuff like that in terms of like singing or whatever, melodic shit, that was like a long time coming. It wasn't like just like, oh yeah, yesterday I was like, yeah, I want to do R&B and shit, and like now we're doing R&B. Like, I literally tried mad times, mad sappy songs that fucking sucked, and just trying like, and then I'm getting discouraged and shit, and I'm just like, damn, like this fucking sucks. Like, why am I even doing this and shit? And it's like so many songs I done played for people, and they hear my feelings and shit, and it's whack. But and now it got me to a place now that it's like I feel confident and comfortable enough to know that when I make music, this is literally me, and I'm not compromising my feeling. Like, I'm not doing that. Because a lot of people, they compromise their feeling. Like, and that's, like, the worst thing you could do as an artist, man. Like, I never understood. Like, I used to, like, listen to Cudi so much. Still do. But I'm just saying, like, and he always used to be so focused on the feeling. And I got what he was saying, but I never really got it until, like, I started making music for myself and then making Downtime or seeing the whole crowd recite 95 Till Infinity for Joey. Like, when you start seeing the feeling, then you start understanding why people like what they like and what they like in terms of, like I understood it was this festival run that we did. I forgot where the hell we were. I think we were in Croatia. And this was like 2015 or 14, around late night special time. I had nighttime. I just did nighttime. And I forgot what song Joey did, man. It probably was... Shit, man. I can't remember what song he did, bro. But it was in Croatia, and that was the first time we had pyrotechnics. So, you know, the flames coming from the stage and shit. Yo.
Such a dope place to have the first pyrotechnics.
That shit was so fire. It was so fire. Like, but then, like, seeing, like, he did One Train. That's what he did. He did One Train, and his verse is so fire on that shit. So, like, man, damn, y'all making me go back in time right now, like, nostalgic. So, like, when the beat dropped, the fire just went up in the air. I was like, and then that's when I understood this is what people love Joey for. Wow, this is fucking crazy. You will never see that walking in the street. You're never seeing that in the studio. You're never seeing that anywhere but seeing that artist live or in their habitat. And that's when I started realizing, word, all music does really work. Not for real though, because it's like once you see the reaction of it on stage and live and stuff like that, then you start seeing the rhythm of the artist too. Like, oh wow, that's his pace. Like, at the end of the day, when I saw Hove live, I think it was like 2 years ago, and that's when he was doing that balloon shit. You know the balloon shit that he was doing? Yeah. And literally, it was the most energetic performance, and he did not move one muscle. I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy. Like, he's just like,
just billionaire status.
It was fire, though. Like, it was literally, it's a hard knock life for us. And he just, one hand, whole show. And that's why I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that works for him. Yeah. And that's when I started realizing Hove ain't changed. His subject matter has stayed the same for how long? He just talked about it more innovative ways, and then he started talking about art because he got rich. Felt him. I felt him. But it didn't change, though. Everything around him changed, though. Enhanced the sounds. He's using Kanye. He got Pharrell. He doing this. You feel me? Now we got Rockefeller. But his story did not change. Why change his story? Why? It's such a beautiful story. And that's what I try to encourage every artist. Like,